The purpose of this video is to provide a way for clinicians to acknowledge and reduce the intensity of emotional stress that patients, family members, and care team members are feeling as they cope with the impact of COVID-19. Emergency conversations are often rushed and emotional. The exchange of information and rapid development of a plan are critical to addressing urgent situations and crises.
Is this goodbye? Do you mean I may not ever see my wife again?
What do you mean I can't see my father? He suffers from anxiety and depression. He needs me.
I've also worked 4 12s in a row. I don't have time to talk about this right now. Find your own damn bed.
Amidst COVID-19, your challenges are even more acute. How do you communicate accurate information when there is even less time, when fear and fatigue are higher? The first step is to de-escalate strong emotions when the need to de-risk is key to maintaining care delivery. The goal of the de-escalation conversation is to acknowledge and reduce the level of intensity and emotional stress for both parties before and during an intense and anxiety-driven exchange. The immediate term goal of de-escalation is not to solve the underlying problem. That will come later. The goal is to have the other person feel heard and respond to their immediate emotional state so that they and you can move on. De-escalation clears the way for the exchange of data, information, and solutions. Conversations where both parties are dealing with high levels of stress and emotion frequently get derailed before they even begin. This raises the risk of errors, misunderstood instructions, and it exacerbates provider burnout. Empathy, sympathy, and problem solving are all necessary and important. But until we've de-escalated, empathy, sympathy, and productive problem solving are unlikely even to be heard. De-escalation starts before you even begin your interaction. Take a moment before to prepare, to consider the person and their circumstances. What is their emotional state likely to be? Having an educated guess about emotional state will be important in the next phase of the conversation. Once you've assessed what they're feeling, restate or reflect the thoughts and feelings they've communicated. This process of reflecting demonstrates both understanding and respect for what that person is experiencing. The simple formula, you feel because, can help reduce the flooding the other person is feeling, which can reduce the flooding within you too. Reflecting another person's feelings isn't just repeating back what they've just said. It's saying in your own words what you hear as their issue. You'll know you're right when you hear, yes. If the patient is feeling anguished and vulnerable due to their isolation and declining health, a reflection might be, you're distraught because you can't see your family when you need them most. Let's try this out by returning to the family member who isn't being allowed to see their father. Where is the family member emotionally? They may be presenting as angry, but they may also be feeling profound grief. Your impulse when faced with an anguished family member may be to begin with all the information, but they may be too upset to hear you. And all they hear is a wall of rationalizations or a foreign language of terms they've never heard. Instead, begin by listening. A simple, first tell me about you, can get things started. When they've finished responding, reflect in your own words what you understand their message to be. You'll know you've heard them when they say yes, which might sound like exactly or damn right. Then hopefully enough of the first wave of emotion is lowered so that you can begin speaking. Remember, you may not get them completely calmed down. We're just looking to get enough of the intensity out so they can hear you. When they can, you can do one of two things. Respond. In this case, share the rationale for a decision or policy, or remind them of an aspect of the patient's treatment plan, whatever is called for. If possible, you may try to extend an offer. There are so many no's patients and families members hear throughout the day. Finding a next doable thing, bringing a loved one a note, getting someone a cup of coffee, is a small demonstration of caring that responds to the person's needs and allows you to conclude the interaction and move on to what's next. Let's look at a second scenario, an intra-team issue.
Oh, so you want me to get you a bit? Because guess what? I've also worked 4 12s in a row. I don't have time right now to talk about this, so why don't you find your own damn bed?
Yeah, you feel like I'm disrespecting you.
Yeah, you and everyone else, get in line.
It seems like we're both pretty fried right now. How about we just take a couple of minutes of quiet so we can get back together and then figure this out? How's that sound?
Okay, a little time out. That sounds like a good idea.
Our final scenario is the most difficult. Talking with a family member facing the loss of their loved one. Here's what that conversation might sound like.
Is this goodbye? Do you think it's possible that I'll never see my wife again?
Yeah, that possibility is heartbreaking for you.
Utterly.
I'm so sorry, but you're right. It doesn't look good. I'm trying to think of what might help. Could I arrange for you to speak with the chaplain?
Oh, God. I guess if we're at that stage.
De-escalation reduces the intensity and emotion of stressful conversations to open the door to communicate information, instructions, and data with less risk, while also focusing on the person you're communicating with. By attempting to hear what the patient, family member, or colleague means, instead of reacting to what they've just said, we can open the door to improved problem solving. De-escalation requires practice. To help, we've created a web app to give clinicians a just-in-time tool to review when moving between interactions. It will help you to manage stressful conversations quickly, and in doing so, reduce your own stress as well. You can try it out at oneminutecovidconversations.com or oneminuteCheckin.com. Your feedback and real-world examples help us to make valuable practical tools for you. Send us your questions, real conversations you need help having, examples of situations you face. We'll respond directly and will incorporate your input as we update the app and future services that help de-risk and de-escalate communication. And thank you.